Today we're going to be taking another dive into one of Guthrie Trapp's lessons. It's going to be a little snippet of one of his lessons, but I think it's really worth getting into and understanding because, as we all know, Guthrie Trapp moves really fast because he's so good. This particular lesson is in the key of G and it involves major arpeggios. We are in standard tuning, so grab your guitar and let's go ahead and get at it. My name is Keith. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, welcome back. As I just said, we are in standard tuning, and what I want to do is preface this by kind of showing a really quick kind of clip of Guthrie Trapp's lesson, in particular, just the lesson that I'm going to be going over today, which involves major arpeggios and double stops. So in order to get going, let's go ahead and throw up a quick 20-second clip of the particular part of the lesson that I wanted to go over, and we'll go over it in detail. So here you go.
For me, I'm trying to map out these, the arpeggios, and then do those with two notes.
Alright, so in that little clip there is a lot going on and it's really fast, so I want to explain and break down exactly what he did here. So what he's doing is he's running through the G major arpeggio up and down the fretboard and adding double stops. I'm going to show you a quick example, or kind of a medium pace example of what he's doing, and I'll go over everything in detail and kind of teach you how to learn it and kind of how to memorize it. Alright, so in the key of G, he's doing this. And then in reverse. Now, I'll go ahead and tab it out for you and throw it up on the screen, but I wanted to kind of dive deeper into exactly what he was talking about here and dive into those arpeggios. So again, we have the G major chord, and we're going to look at the major arpeggio for that chord. And what is the major arpeggio? It's the 1, 3, and 5. 1 being the root, right? Third fret of the E string is the root, that's a G. And this is the 3, and this is the 5. How do we get there? Let's look at the major scale. That's why it's so important. Let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root. So if we look at the 1, 3, and 5, identify those. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 5. That's our major arpeggio. But instead of playing the 3 down here, he's moving that up to the 7th fret of the low E string. Same note. So 1, 3, 5. I'll go ahead and throw up the chart for the major arpeggio for G on the screen here, and I'm just going to run right up the... So now that we have the arpeggios down up the fretboard for the key of G, he's doing double stops against those right up using that same pattern. Right? And then he goes back down. But how do we know exactly what he's doing and why? Let's look at that first set. Let's look at this. Those 4 little kind of notes here. So what he's doing comes directly out of cage, and that's why cage is kind of important too. So if we take a G-shaped G chord right here, it's an open G, and you look at the 1 and the 3, that's what he's targeting. 1 and the 3. So that's the first. And then kind of outside of the cage, he's hitting the 3 here and the 5, those two together. And then he's moving back to this E shape. The next 2 sets are in this E shaped G. That would be the A and the D string on the 5th fret. That would be a D and a G. Actually, those are the notes. And then the next set would be, again, in that E shape on the D and the G strings. Those 2 together. So that first set of 4, that's what he's doing. So moving on from there, he is going to go straight up to the C-shaped G. This is also a G chord because this is a G here, and this is a G. Right? So the next three are this right here. All in that C shape. So if you look at it this way, we're going to hold that C shape, and then we're going to look at the fingers that we're holding down with our fretting hand on the D and the G strings, these two. That's the next set. Then we're going to look at the way our fingers are on the fretboard for the G and the B string, that's this. And finally, the B and the E string. Now, here's a cool way to kind of memorize that. So just imagine if you're holding down the C shape and you just hit the notes that you want on the D and the G string. That's the first, and then the G and the B without lifting up, and then the B and the E. Same exact thing as this. Right? All in that C shape. Now the next one is in the A shape, right? This is an A-shaped G chord. And what he's targeting there is these top two strings, the B and the E string on the 12th and 10th fret respectively, from that A-shaped G chord. And then finally, we're back at the G shape, because that would be a G chord, same as this. So let's go ahead and do that once forward and once back real quick. And I'm going to call out the shapes. So this is the G shape. And this is the 3 and the 5. We're back to the E shape, these two. E shape again. Then the C shape. C shape again. Same C shape. Then we're moving on to that A shape. Then back to the G shape. That's exactly how he got it. He kind of went through that really fast in the video, but the guy is amazing, spectacular. He just moves too quick for a lot of us. So let me just run through it one more time up and down real quick. Now, Guthrie did mention in his video, he said, you don't have to do this or whatever like that, but it's a good little exercise to do, and it also familiarizes yourself with the major arpeggios, and if you want a dive back into major 7th arpeggios, I have a video that I'll link up here as well. So I hope that was helpful for you, and if it is, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will talk to you later. Thanks. That could have been better.